because you have challenged us that for you to live, you must serve humanity. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ega. Thank you so much. Well done. Thank you so much, sir. All right. Thank you, everyone. Now it's time for us to take questions from the audience. Questions, comments, reflection. Yes.
Thank you very much. I have a short intervention, but let me first of all commend all the speakers. Thank you very much for your very, very stirring remarks concerning the topic of discussion. I want to just raise some few observations. Should we not be able to separate activism from pro bono work? Because the two are not the same, even though they may intersect. So that we don't always assume that if a person is into pro bono work, he must, for all intents and purposes, be an activist. Secondly, Mr. Efron said that, quoting Comrade Adams Oshimole, that you have to be rich in order to fight for the poor. I think that that statement is not true for all intents and purposes. And I want to merge it with the issue of indigency. We always focus on financial indigency, but we have political indigency. We have social indigency. For example, the person that was put in prison because they didn't want him to deliver his words to the opposing political party, and he was in prison. That is political indigency. And so I think it is important for us to understand the niche within the pro bono landscape that we serve and the resources we require to serve that particular niche. It is not every niche that will need much resources to serve, just like our FIDA chair, Choma, mentioned. So please, I would like us to just have that at the back of our mind. And then I think the last issue I would like to raise is the issue of billing. There is this particular notion that we have about billing, that if I'm doing a service pro bono, it means I take no fee at all. My understanding is that when I'm doing my bill, I have professional fee, I have out-of-pocket expenses, I have disbursements, I have many heads that I account for all the expenditure related to the service rendered. There are people that even though I'm a lecturer, I coordinate law clinic, but I have a law firm. So there are people that come to my law firm, and due to their condition, I want to give them some pro bono service. I might not tell them that you are not paying anything. I'll say you pay out-of-pocket expenses, you pay all these other disbursements, filing and all that, but the fee is what I am waiving. So that we understand that, yes, you can actually render pro bono, yet you charge for those other things. And then lastly, most of the people here have been saying that they want to be lawyers, or wanted to be lawyers because you want to fight injustice. For me, I wanted to be a lawyer because I wanted to make money. If not for that, I wanted to read theater arts, but I was advised that if I read theater arts, I will not be rich. So I decided to read law because I wanted to get financial security. But when I started practicing, I now noticed that people were coming to me with cases, and I couldn't turn my eyes away from them. And so I got deep into pro bono, even before I started coordinating clinic. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let me first start by appreciating the speakers. It has been very refreshing listening to everybody from Enibehe to Igia to Ogabayo, my good friend. I've shared some of my concerns, some of what I will say here with Bayo. My name is Mazi Echike Jido, and I'm the Secretary of Nigerian Bar Association, Nyanyakaru branch. While everything I've said here is very fantastic, is perfect, there is a part that I expected. There is a constituency I expected to see, maybe within the audience or within the that I wasn't here, and that is the Legal Aid Council of Nigeria. I have a unique journey in my legal profession. 2008, when I was called, during my NYC, I was posted to College of Education in Sokoto. I didn't like it. So I went to Legal Aid and asked them, because I was a passionate young lawyer. I was really passionate. So I went to Legal Aid and asked them, please, I want to serve in Legal Aid. I want to help. We are the first state to do police duty solicitor scheme. And so I worked with Legal Aid for that year. And it was, in fact, it was one of my memorable years. Because when you go to police station, I was able to secure, that time PDSS was really powerful. I just talked to the DPO and this, and you secure people and they come out and be worshiping you. I felt like a savior. As a lawyer, I felt like, hi, I have superpowers. But then, when I finished service, because I enjoyed that 1 year, I went back and I was passionate about pro bono. I went back and Legal Aid returned me in the same office. I think I got one, a lecturer of mine called me and said, "Man, Echika, that this journey I'm taking is a very difficult one, that I might be enjoying it now because I'm young, but it's a very difficult one." So he warned me. He said, "I know you. You are one of my brilliant students. Please, reconsider going back to Legal Aid as a pro bono, as in taking pro bono as your calling." I didn't take that. I didn't heed that warning because I enjoyed that year of service in Legal Aid. So I went back. Now, when I went back, the first year was fine. The chief judge will be assigning homicide cases, serious cases, and you will have all your day. You will have a fantastic time. But again, it reached a point, what Inihebe echoed became the reality. A drowning man cannot save another drowning man. You can't be poor and do pro bono. You cannot. It's as serious as that. You can't have basic needs and think of cases, serious cases to cite in court. You can't have five homicide cases in your hand, and you have to write written address for all of them. Pro bono, mind you, the chief judge assigns these cases to my office, directly to me. So you have homicide cases lining up in you, and you are writing addresses and doing research on all of them, pro bono. And then you can't afford your basic needs. Transportation, your suit, like Oganu who said, a lawyer without a good suit is no lawyer. He said he's not a good lawyer. That's simple truth. You can't afford, even your feeding, you can't afford a good meal. You see lawyers entering night bus in order to go for case in another jurisdiction because they can't afford transportation. So that was the time I reconsidered, is this the journey I want to take? And I left in 2015, and the rest is I left Legal Aid and the rest is history. So why I'm recounting this is, while fantastic advocates like Inibehe and my Oga, Bayo and Igia and Omaichia Chioma, when you take 2-3 cases, there are if not hundreds lying that are waiting for pro bono. Okay, sir. Okay, ma. They are waiting for pro bono in court. How do we? I'm talking to PPDC now. How do we strengthen institutions like Legal Aid that have at least, I think, up to 200 lawyers, 300 lawyers doing pro bono? How do we strengthen them to do this work, and lessen the pro bono burden? Thank you very much.
Do we have a lady? Okay. Uchina, just one more. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate our professor's lecture, but my concern I usually have is most of those who apply for pro bono cases with us, they usually apply because of the silk, they want to become an SAN. So once they get that, they abandon our cases. So we now leave the indigents are at the mercy of looking for another pro bono lawyer. So is there any way that the issue can be addressed. Because I think it's a repeated thing every year. Once we assign the case, once they get that sick ship, the next year we start looking for another lawyer and they abandon those particular indigents either in the police station or at the correctional center.
Thank you very much. We're going to take Mr. Yadwak's question, and I think it's okay. Todd. All right. Okay.
Just concluding comments. Okay, I thank all those who made contributions. So regarding the observations you raised, must a pro bono lawyer be an activist? The question is, who is an activist? If you undertake to offer free legal service to anyone, that is an act of activism in itself, by my assessment. You don't necessarily need to be the ferocious one that is always antagonizing government. No. Activism is essentially service to the society. That is my view. Regarding the statement of Oshomole, I don't want that to be misunderstood. You don't need to be rolling in millions before you can offer free legal service. The point I sought to make is that in offering to represent the oppressed, also take care of the business aspect of law practice so that you will not need someone to also come and rescue you as an oppressed. Now, generally, I think the point has been well made. The gains far outweighs whatever disadvantages one is looking at. And I like what our chair, Madam Choma, said. You will be amazed, consternated, I say, the day you realize the level of visibility that pro bono cases can give you. I'm telling you. One of the cases I did, I think in 2017, I don't know how many of us remember the incident of the church that collapsed in Akwa Ibom. The governor was present, a lot of people were killed. One Renas Bible Church. I don't know if you can still remember that sad episode. There was an architect or an engineer who did the scaffolding. The governor decided to scapegoat him, right? And ordered his arrest and detention. Several efforts to release him proved abortive. In fact, very senior lawyers could not get him out because why? It was the governor's order. I was in Lagos, they called me. I went to Akwa Ibom on my own without any money. And we did one or two things. The judicial panel was set up. I went and appeared. Somehow they were impressed with the submissions I made. There and then, someone that several lawyers could not get out, because of the drama I put up at the tribunal, was released immediately. That case subsequently brought me a case which I did at the Industrial Arbitration Panel involving Mobile and Pengassi. The first car I bought, 90% of the money came from that case. The point is that somebody who saw what I did in that case, this is 2017. 2017, I was still very new in practice, was so impressed, now recommended me to a very lucrative brief. This was a pro bono undertaking. So I'm just giving you one example to say that no matter the challenges that you undertake, the reality is that the gains far outweighs the challenges. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Do you want to have anything? No?
Okay, thank you. About those who abandon their cases, it's really an MBE thing. Even the Supreme Court justices have alluded to this problem, cases that are abandoned. My question is, why don't you just report it to the LPPC? It's simple. Everybody that knows me in this profession, I don't tolerate nonsense, even from senior advocates of Nigeria. I don't. And I tell it to their faces. It's a privilege. And whatever you do to get there, that's your own personal thing. But in getting there, if you make somebody else's life miserable, I, Bayo Akinlade, will come after you. if I know about it. I will come for you. And, well, I know myself, and most people know me. So the question is, what are you doing when these cases are abandoned? Do you report to the LPPC? You don't. Report it immediately, and we will remove that silk from that person. It's as simple as that. You can't put somebody in a worse state, and this is part of my paper. You need to count the cost when you are doing pro bono, because you don't want to leave the client, well, the beneficiary, let me use it that way. You don't want to leave the beneficiary in a worse state than you found him by abandoning his case halfway. That's why you need to count the cost.
Thank you very much, sir. We've come to the end of this session. I want to thank our panelists for sharing their perspective and experiences and wisdom with us. And I want to thank you all for joining us for this session this afternoon. Thank you.
Can we appreciate our panelists? Would invite the head of programs, our PPDC, to join in the section photograph. Yes, please. And ladies and gentlemen, we would be having the next section in a jiffy. That is a technical section on productive pro bono models and practical solutions for reform. I promise you, we will still see our movie, but that would take place after the next section. I want to invite my colleague, the session coordinator, Oludayo Bambose. Thank you so much.
Can we give them a round of applause again? Thank you very much. The final session we'll be having today is, can we give the moderator a round of applause also? Motunrayo? Thank you very much. The more they clap, the faster they'll get to their seats. Thank you very much. It was really enlightening. We are moving straight to the final session for today. And this is a technical session to be taken by Honorable Ehusani Abel Simpa. He is a judge of the customary court of the Federal Capital Territory. Can we give him a round of applause? Please come to the, can we usher him to the podium? Honorable Ehusani received his Bachelor of Laws degree and his Master of Laws degree. He is a notable Nigerian and a legal practitioner and a judge with the customary court of the Federal Capital Territory. Honorable Ehusani has strong background and strong interest in professional ethics, restorative justice, and the use of technology. He is widely written, and he is on the editorial board of Educom, and he has also published on several other platforms, including the Nigerian Lawyer, and the Society magazine. He spends his time training young lawyers on the aspect of the ethics of pro bono lawyering. Today, he'll be discussing with us the topic, productive pro bono models and the practical solutions for reforms. With joy in our hearts, I'd like you to give him a round of applause as he mounts up to make his presentation. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. It's an honor to be here. With the greatest humility, I would want to appreciate our professors, our lecturers here, learned seniors here. There's so much respect in the profession. So the fact that I'm a judge of the customary court, I want you all to know, particularly the students, that no matter how high you go in the legal profession, respect is one thing we hold sacred. And particularly for professors and lecturers, we would consistently give them the respect they deserve. And even for learned seniors at the bar, thank you so much. My name is Ehusani Abel Simpa. It's a privilege to be here. Please, can I have my slides? Okay. Third page. I'll just quickly run through it. Pro bono, as it's been said, public good. Let's emphasize on public good. It's a trending common phenomenon right now that everybody wants to talk about. Oh, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? If I don't make money, waiting I gain. If I don't get this, what's the benefit for me? As a lawyer or as a clinician, whatever it is you do, the moment you decide to be part of the legal profession, you have to understand that there's the need to consistently be selfless. Yes, you will need to make your money, you will need to do career development and advance, but that selfless drive is what will put you in the right direction for pro bono. And so, public good, just understand that if you're going to be doing pro bono in whatever dimension, the first impression should be that I want to do something outside of myself. I want to be selfless. While you're doing the things that you really should do in the profession, remember that the key to succeeding in pro bono is being selfless. Public good. It's a common thing in Nigeria. We see it a lot, mostly in civil service. A lot of us wonder why so many things are not particularly right in this country. One of the things I have discovered in my years in civil service is that a lot of civil servants will tell you, no, they carry government work like your papa work. You would even hear that even in the judiciary. No, they carry government work like your papa work. And I say, no. This country is ours. Everything I do it as though my dad is watching me. I do it, as Christians will say, as unto the Lord. So everything you do, carry on like saying that your papa work or like saying that your mama work. That way you'll be able to give it the best. And it's only when you're passionate about giving something the best, especially when it's of public good, not so much about private interest, that you can be effective. Next slide, please. So, yes, both at the international stage, it's been talked about how the need for pro bono cannot be overemphasized or underestimated, particularly because a lot of people have needs, as some of the speakers said, a lot of people have needs beyond what we generally know as the common request for pro bono services. There are so many dimensions of the practice of law where you'll be shocked that people every day are suffering because they cannot afford legal services. As our able lecturer also said here, some people are not particularly financial indigent. There's indigency in so many spheres of life. It will be interesting for you to know that, particularly for lower court judges, area courts, customary courts, Sharia courts, and magistrates, you'll be surprised the things that they go through, that they will need pro bono services in some dimensions that will beat your imagination. However, the focus now is for public good. Just remember that public good transcends every sphere of life. Next slide, please. Next after that, I just took a little search. I did a little search about some global perspective of pro bono in so many countries. There are a lot of dimensions countries and bar associations of different countries have adopted to ensure that there is more effective use of pro bono. For example, one of the things, we all know the story of Rwanda and how they had to come out of all that happened. One of the areas that lawyers there have been effective in pro bono is to have what they call the community way of resolving conflicts. You have lawyers who go into communities and engage in pro bono services that do not necessarily resort to litigation, just so as to remember that the focus is on healing the wounds. We are at a stage in Nigeria now where there's so much divide over religion, over ethnicity, and so much. One of the ways I'll still talk about in the next slide is for us in Nigeria to look inward and to start, especially as students, to start from our law clinics, start focusing on what to do, even within the university setting, even within the law school setting. Do things that would bring people together. That's also pro bono. Next slide, please. Yeah, so remembering the topic and how I'm talking more about reforms, a lot of lawyers would need the push. That's why I'm grateful for this platform. This has pushed a lot of people to look closely into the need for pro bono services. A lot of lawyers maybe don't care or don't understand, but with interventions like this, summits like this, we are reminded of the need to do more of pro bono services. Now, in talking about reforms, one of the things that lawyers now have as a popular trend is CPD points. You generally hear lawyers talk about CPD points now. As a matter of fact, there was a gossip going on in the last MBA conference that, one of the ways single male lawyers ask female lawyers out is, if you date me, there'll be CPD points in it too. So CPD points is one of the very amazing thing the Nigerian Bar Association is doing. I'm grateful for. I want to say that from the perspective of the bench, it's really exciting to know that there's something now that even as a lawyer, you're not getting the financial benefits. You know that there's something in it for you if you engage in pro bono services. Next slide, please. So yes, basically the rules of professional conduct. Now, as one of the speakers said, we shouldn't forget that when you hear pro bono, it's not almost always totally free, in the sense that the rules of professional conduct, for example, Rule 52, Sub-Rule 2 says reduced fee or no fee. I remember our lecturer talked about it could still be pro bono, however, you get some basic payments made so that your pro bono work doesn't even suffer because certain things are not done the way they should be done. So reduced fee or no fee. Pro bono also encapsulates a situation where considerably reduced fee. And I know for a fact that the remuneration committee of the Nigerian Bar Association also factored in how lawyers who do pro bono are permitted to charge reduced fee. So it's important to understand the perspective from rules of professional conduct so that you can balance the equities of being a professional, doing the right thing, and serving humanity and doing public good still within the confines of what's correct. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, yes, I want to focus here. I want to focus more here. I am a judge of the FCT Customary Court. We do a lot more of civil cases. And in all of the places I've been privileged to speak, I have deliberately called on lawyers to focus on the civil dimension of criminal litigation. We all know how right now there's the global trajectory of criminal justice system, which shifts from the punitive measures to restorative justice. Now, one of the things we have learned is that the best way, as is commonly said, prevention is better than cure, right? As is best experienced, most of the criminal cases we have that are real, serious criminal cases, there's so much civil dimension to it that lawyers are not paying attention to. And one of the things I'm trying to bring out here is that if we see pro bono, I also remember one of the erudite speakers here mentioned it. If we see pro bono beyond criminal litigation, I believe we will be able to do a lot more good, because 90%, from my research, 90% of the adults we have as criminals, or hardened criminals, so to speak, today, in any society, you cannot take away the fact of their background, where they're coming from, or what they are dealing with, either from the family setting, from the community setting, or all of the civil realities that bedevil their lives, which now translates into the criminal activities that they get to be involved with. So, in looking at the broader perspective of pro bono, please, it's important to understand that there are so many other areas that are civil in nature that pro bono lawyers can deliberately focus on and do good. I just want to repeat that pro bono is bigger than criminal cases, bigger than defendants, bigger than police stations, bigger than prisons, bigger than correctional facilities. I'll just give a quick example of how today I had a matter in court before I came. Most of the cases we handle, I am grateful that the chair of FIDA talked about matrimonial causes. Now, I also want to use her strategy. First, let me ask among lawyers, please, who among us as lawyers has ever or is actually in that disposition of, I don't do divorce cases? Please, is anyone here like that? Or who just feels like there's a problem with doing divorce cases, maybe by faith, by your faith, or by your disposition? I don't do divorce cases. Anyone? Okay, now among students, is there anyone who just believes divorce is one, when I start practicing, divorce is one area I would never be part of? Anyone? Okay, so as not to take so much time, I would just first want to clear out the misconception. There is no such thing as divorce cases. There is no such thing as divorce cases. What you have is matrimonial causes. Now, every family that has a problem, there are ripple effects. When a family has a problem and you, for example, have a case involving a man and a woman seeking divorce, to them, the biggest problem they have is that marriage. They want it dissolved. 9 out of 10, none of them is looking at the children who are infants, who start suffering from the beginning of that matter till it ends. And most times, those children are the ones who turn out to be both juvenile delinquents and then full-blown criminals. I believe that one of the ways we can effectively activate a pro bono model is to look at how some of these, not just matrimonial cases now, but cases of domestic violence, cases that look simple and civil, but particularly have children involved. If we look closely at how to ensure that these cases can be taken seriously, we will do our society a lot of good. Because indeed, the only way to do restorative justice is to nip crime in the bud. When criminals, sometimes some people go for jail terms, and when they come back, they become more hardened. Because the truth is, some of our correctional facilities, there's really no correction going on there. So it will be good for us to be proactive, find ways to engage in a lot more pro bono services that are targeted towards ensuring that the evil ahead does not happen. And I also pointed out here that, again, for civil matters and for matrimonial causes, they don't always have to end in the court giving its judgment and striking down the hammer. So, as a pro bono lawyer, you could participate, or even as clinicians, I would recommend that time and again, please go to courts, just like one of the speakers said. Go to courts, watch proceedings. A lot of indigent lawyers are in court. They don't have lawyers. Even as clinicians, you could just offer assistance. You could help fundamentally draft terms of settlement between parties. And honestly, I would not be ashamed to say that just 2 weeks ago, I was in a court in Kabusa, and it was a matrimonial cause. It's a panel of 3 judges, so myself and my colleagues, we already had a conference. The matter had gone into trial. There were there were four children. The father is right now in remand, and he's been a criminal going in and out of jail. Now, the woman now seeks dissolution of marriage and wants custody of the children. And we had already decided on what to do. But then all of a sudden, a lawyer came to represent the man, and he was able to draft terms of settlement, which we adopted as consent judgment. And indeed, we could say that the way both parties were able to amicably resolve the differences and take care of the future of their children, the court couldn't have been able to do better. So most times, as a pro bono lawyer, understand that when you're able to help in the direction of bringing parties to amicably resolve disputes out of court, you're doing a lot more justice. Because in the end, if the court gives judgment, either ways, one person may or may not be satisfied. So please, focus a lot more on the civil dimensions in pro bono. Next slide, please. Okay, so here I talk about my suggested reforms. Ultimately, if, like I said at the beginning, if what you're doing has to always be about profit, has to always be about gain, then let it be limited to, as we have learned, the business dimension of your practice. Then when you now take on the garment of pro bono, be as selfless as you possibly can within the confines of professionalism. I remember professionalism as recently talked about in one of the Supreme Court decisions, where lawyers who take up pro bono cases, it's been said that, I want to believe that was from Legal Aid Council, lawyers who take up silk and then abandon cases. Now, when things like that happen, it's painful because from the judiciary perspective, you know, as judges, no matter how much of the law you know, you're meant to be an independent and unbiased umpire. So a lot of times when we're in court, you're seeing a case going so bad, and you're seeing how, oh my God, this person can be helped if only there's a lawyer here. And you're trying to give hints, to a litigant who barely understands. And there's a limit to what you can do as a judge, because it's also important to balance the equities so it does not look like there's so much favorable disposition towards the other party. So please, as pro bono lawyers or clinicians, professionalism is still key. Please don't be less professional because it's for free. That's what I would say. I would want to now end with a little exercise. The last slide. I think I'm missing a slide. There's a slide I would specifically want to focus on and talk about. But if that's not here, it's fine. The last but one slide, please, where we have pro bono dimensions and test situations. Okay, please, so quickly, if the organizers would be okay with it, I want to do a little exercise. We have about 5 test pro bono situations here in the light of all that we have learned in the summit and all that I have talked about. So I just want to group us into, so for this the first row here, you will take the first test question. You just ruminate around it in 1 minute, and then consider yourselves as both lawyers who would see to the effective resolution of the dispute here. So for the first row here, please, you take 1. I would humbly plead with Professor and Barrister F. Young, you would take 2. Then the second row behind, that's the second, after the immediate row, the next row, you take the 3rd. Then the 4th extreme row, the first extreme row, the first line in front, please take the 4th. And let's see, behind. I like the House of Lords. I used to be a House of Lords person until I realized that it's not so good. So the last row, the last row, please take the 5th question. So quickly, let's just go through it. I hope it's clear enough for us to see. It's not? Okay, the first one. For the PowerPoint, is it possible to zoom in a bit? The first one, so please, let me just read it out. Just pay attention. You could even just ruminate through it in your heads and just come up with it. A local community has an illegal gold mining hotspot close to the chief's palace. Bandits are forcefully taking charge of the area, conferring chieftaincy titles on themselves, and mandating native farmers to pay customary tenancy, fines, and taxes. So just think about what dimensions of pro bono can be talked about there. If it's to go to court, what areas you'll be looking at, and what solution you would recommend. The second one, please. A state legislation. Okay, yes. I believe this is part of where this will come from the slide I say I'm missing. There's a particular slide I mentioned how that pro bono can come in legislative drafting dimensions. One of the areas I would want to draw lawyers' attentions to is legislative drafting. A lot of us know so much about legal drafting, but legislative drafting is another very important aspect of law. Over the years, in the course of my work as a judge, I've realized that there's a lot of problems with some of our legislations. And the only way as a pro bono lawyer you can help in that dimension is to help working with legislature to either amend laws or propose bills. So legislative drafting is another very key area we should focus on. So question 2 says, a state legislation established a Corporate Social Responsibility Enforcement Commission. Section 12 of that law reads, quote, the CSREC shall impose fines and sanctions on defaulting corporations within the state, comma, who submit to its authority. So please, I would want the focus there to be on that law and what you think should be done to help persons who may fall victim of the consequence of interpreting that law. The next is the matrimonial cause. Now, you have a matrimonial cause of a drug addict or an alcoholic father with 3 daughters. He rapes one, consistently attempts to rape another. He is eventually arrested and charged to court for armed robbery, assault, criminal trespass. The trial is pending. Bail has been denied. His wife seeks divorce and custody of the children. What should be done, or what do you think? Let's just share thoughts on that from the pro bono perspective. Now, question 4 says, mother with son from another man. The son from another man is 16 years old. That son rapes the 13-year-old half-sister in the new marriage. The girl is pregnant. The father breaks the boy's left arm and right eye. And guess what he was in court for? Divorce to protect his family name and send the woman and boy away. I remember when the lecturer talked about, it was a lecturer that talked about how he wanted to read theater arts, right? And he eventually didn't do that. Actually, I also wanted to read theater arts. But the moment in my second year, I realized that there's so much more drama in law. I took an advantage. Now, please, these things you're seeing here as questions, in all honesty, I'll tell you for real, they are actually either live cases I'm handling right now or that I have handled. So I'll trust your judgment, because the truth is what you do here might help in resolving some of this life disputes. So this is not drama, this is not home video, this is real life realities going on. And the last one, man is a serving lance corporal with the Nigerian army. He handles guns and other military hardware. His wife is a TikTok influencer and content creator using underage female girls for content, sexualizing them with local and international soliciting already happening by perverts of different sexual orientations. So that's for those. Okay, that's for the last, the people at, please, are we good with that? All right, so in 1 minute we can just ruminate over that and let's have feedback. And if any group is ready with answers, we can just take so that we don't take so much time. Please, I really want us to discuss or talk about it so that we can have a robust feedback. Well, we're looking at productive pro bono models. This gives us an opportunity to explore models and dimensions of reform that would, in the end, help. Please, is it possible for the slides to be made a little bit bolder? But if everyone can see it, then we're good. Learned colleagues for group 1, are we ready for question 1? Thank you.
All right, thank you. My name is Wisdom Audu from Mount Bello University, Zara. So from the test situations being given, number one, we could be seeing that there's an illegal mining, gold mining being done by the community itself. But however, for the fact that bandits, that is an illegal set, has taken captive of a land of it, and aside from that, they are taking chieftaincy titles and equally giving taxes, which is illegal. Now, the probable solutions that can be offered in this fact is that we should rule ADR out of this. Because now the two illegalities here is such that bandit itself, considering Nigerian situations, they are insurgents. And not just that, they are taking over a community. So the best possible way is to go to court and then seek for proper remedies. Now, will the community then sue the bandits? No, that will not be done. The federal government will best in this instance, since, of course, these persons, bandits, cannot be brought willfully to court in this instance. They will have to go down. They'll probably use some force. Or if force is not being done, then that is when the issue of negotiation will come into play. That is when the issue of negotiation with the bandits will come into play. They'll come at a round table and then ask, what is it that is being needed to be done, or X, Y, Z, or what is your position? What should we resolve in this particular instance? Will the court work in this situation? No. Will ADR work in this situation? Yes, under negotiation. That's my probable answer in this. Thank you.
Thank you. Quickly, let's take two. I'm told we have 10 minutes. Can we take two? The front row here. Front row. Give the learned seniors in front. Give the learned seniors in front. Or give the prof or our lecturer. You're not done?
We have delegated him
Okay.
to present us.
Okay,
So
nice.
we are still gathering perspectives, but at least he can report.
All right. Thanks.
One of the students to respond. Is there anyone in group 2 that would like to make a comment? Anyone? Any volunteer? I should follow the leading of the Spirit. Who is willing to volunteer for group 2? Everyone is taking their faces away. Yes, is there anyone that has opinion on the matter, on the question for group 2? Okay, the way I look at the facts as presented, a state legislation established a Corporate Social Responsibility Enforcement Commission. Section 12 of the law reads, the CSREC shall impose fines and sanctions on defaulting corporations within the states who submit to its authority. There are two broad issues that are deducible from this scenario. The first is poor legislative drafting. The second is the constitutionality of the law itself. Now, for Parliament to enact what is called penal legislation, there are certain preconditions that the language of the law, the text of the law has to meet. One of which is what we call the legality test. Now, if Parliament is to make a law, a state legislation is to make a law, saying that corporate social responsibility, if you default, you are subject to be penalized. That itself is problematic because the whole idea of corporate social responsibility is that it is supposed to be voluntary. The law doesn't necessarily impose obligations on corporations as a matter of compulsion to carry out corporate social responsibility. One, how do you define corporate social responsibility? What kind of social corporate responsibility? What kind of corporation? What is the extent of the corporate social responsibility? These are issues that the text of the law must offer clarity. But more importantly, regarding the constitutionality of this section 12, by virtue of section 12, section 36 sub 8, a community reading of section 36 sub 8 and 12 of the Constitution, you cannot make a law to penalize an act that is not specifically defined to be a crime. And when we say it is defined as a crime, the definition section of the law must be very explicit on the elements of that offense.
Right. So quick,
Finally,
just to bring it to perspective,
yes.
What would you do from the pro bono perspective? What would you do if you were engaged now for this?
that is where I'm going. Finally, the remedy here will largely be two ways, either judicial remedy or advocacy. On the judicial point, one can, of course, invoke Section 6 of the Constitution by approaching the court to challenge the constitutionality of this law. Because first, administrative agencies do not have expansive, unlimited powers to impose fines. That is the determination for the judiciary. So one can, in offering pro bono service, offer to litigate this in court. At the level of advocacy, there is what is called legislative advocacy. You can engage with the House, the Parliament, to revisit the text of this law, either to repeal it or amend it to conform with the principle of legality that I espoused earlier. Thank you.
Next.
All right, thank you. We are addressing question number 3.
Right.
From our discussion, the pro bono dimension that we'll be looking at is, first and foremost, without sentencing this person, is to provide legal representation to him in order to accelerate hearing. And then secondly, we will prioritize the protection and the safety of the children. That whether before going into look at the issue of custody, we will apply to the court for an order for the children to be removed from that environment, from that house, to environment where they will be protected. Because even in matrimonial causes, the interest of the children is usually prioritized. And we will equally make application to the court for an order for his mental state to be examined, because the combination of these alleged offenses is a pointer to the fact that there could be a problem upstairs. So it is only when this is established that the issue of mens rea could be established, and it is only a reasonable man, a man in his complete state, that can stand trial. A madman cannot stand trial. So this is part of what we are going to do. And we will not try to insist on bail, because these offenses, most of them are not bailable offenses as of right. So it will be, since pro bono has to do with public good, it will be good that he is kept in a confined settlement where to enable him to be restrained from committing further offenses, as well as for the public to be protected. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Do we still have time? We are okay. All right. All right. Thank you so much. Basically, I'm grateful for, it's just an opportunity to broaden the horizon of pro bono. I want to end with, please, the slide 7. I want to be particular about something in slide 7. Slide 7. Just to buttress the point of the need for consistency in professionalism. There's a case that was decided recently by the Supreme Court. I want to quote the statement of my Lord Honorable Justice Habib Adewale Olumuyiwa Abiru, Justice of the Supreme Court, in the case of Ibrahim Umar against the state. Now, with regards to professional ethics, my Lord was really going hard on how a lawyer showed so much incompetence. Now, my Lord said, the argument contained in the brief of arguments of counsel to the respondent were lame, lazy, lacking in energy, scanty, and bereft of any in-depth study and or analysis of the facts and applicable law to the subject matter. The respondent's brief of argument was an exhibition of unseriousness and of a lackadaisical attitude on the part of counsel. Please, as lawyers, we've heard today from almost all the speakers the need to be professional, so that no matter what you're doing, either it's for the best fee in the world or it's pro bono, be professional to the peak. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll take a photograph with you, sir. Yes, the head of programs, Mr. Chimezie, the session coordinator, and our guest speaker would have a group photograph. Mr. Chimezie, sir? Yes, please. Why don't you go to the center? Ladies and gentlemen, while that is taking place, we are about rounding off today's section. I want to remind us that by tomorrow we are starting by 8 o'clock on the dot. Nigerian time. Nigerian time is the best time. But before that, we want you to see a movie, and then for just 30 minutes, should we still have the movie? You don't want the movie? Majority say they want it, they want to see this movie. Ladies and gentlemen. So please, our media team, can we have it? And immediately after then, we would invite the head of programs for the closing remarks, please. Our coordinator should help us with the light out time while we focus on the big screen. Thank you so much.
The rerun elections for the Yanga Mainland 01 seat in the Yanga State House of Assembly is in progress, and the air is tense. This election is coming after the 17th May election where Honorable Olumide Ajasa, emerged winner, was declared inconclusive.
How you doing? Well done. How you people doing?
Just manage it. This is what we have in the house. I beg, try I beg.
I don't want to drink this Gary anymore. Every day is Gary. Mommy, I'm tired. Don't worry, man. When I start my mania job, I will buy you big turkey. If you love big turkey now, I will buy you car. I'll buy you house.
I know they go buy her. Not be you. I know they go buy her. I beg, just try chop.
But if I drink this Gary, you'll be happy.
Of course, now. Thank you.
Reports reaching our studios confirm that Honorable Olumide Ajasa is dead. The flag bearer of the Democratic Party of Nigeria was abducted and killed by unknown persons. Speaking earlier to the press, the Commissioner of Police, Sunday, gave his word that the perpetrators would be brought to justice.
This is why I say exactly that M delivers.
Assured the citizens of the state that the reign of terror of the Igbo gunmen would soon be a thing of the past. Speaking on behalf of Governor Yonju, Thanksgiving Ukot, the special assistant to the governor on media and publicity, made this remark during a press conference in the wake of the rising tension in the state. He pointed out that the governor has not forgotten his promises to the people of the state, as security of life and property is top on the list of the governor's many things agenda. Salvation has finally come to the people of the
have you seen this girl? She's just all over the internet.
I don't know why we let these people use us as pawns. We collect poultry concessions from them, and then 4 years later, we suffer for it.
Whoa, give me! They always have something to say. Kill Amademo. Do they know how difficult it is to run a state? Amademo, just imagine. That reminds me. Have you sorted that problem?
No, sir.
Why? Listen, do it immediately. Okay? Have some drinks, my friend. Difficult people go on the stage. Nonsense people. Talking just. Chef!
Aha, how are you, my friend? How is your mommy? It's all right.
Jesus! Jesus!
Yes, you're going to meet with him very soon.
Bros,
Where's the document?
Bros,
Shut up your mouth!
I don't want to meet him now, bros. Meeting Jesus apart from church, not terrible. Bros, I beg, I'm a young man. I am a young man.
You should have thought about that very well before you turned it into a rat. Hand me that briefcase now. I said, hand me that.
Bros, my family, my wife, my
Bring it! Give it to me!
Bros, look, you talk and bros, I beg. Now, God, I still beg you. We can settle it amicably. How much? Bros? Let's talk about price, bros. Bros, I beg. Bros, I beg, I beg you, I beg.
You must be mad. You think I'm here to joke with you?
The body of Engineer Warren was discovered in his car this morning. Details after the briefing.
Honorable Alaka, how are you doing? Very well. I'm sure you've heard the news, right? Yes. That is what happens to anyone who double-crosses me in the state. Over 40. Can you imagine? He had the guts and the effrontery to threaten me in my state. Àpáta forí sọ ẹyin kọ̀ràn. Ẹyin forí sọ àpáta. Ẹyin ẹ ló máa fọ́ dànù. Nonsense. Má bínú jàre, okay, you know what? Just tell that your boy to bring the proposal tomorrow, first thing in the morning. That's a done deal. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Later. Nonsense.
Dr. Yonju Badru has reiterated that the many things promised by the
Hey, babe.
Babe, you said you were going to call me back.
Yeah, I'm sorry, darling. I actually dozed off.
Tough day, huh?
Yeah. Been a bit busy.
I received the money. Thank you so much.
Will you please stop thanking me like this? You know, it's my job to take care of you and our baby. Huh?
And who takes care of you? Mide?
I cannot do myself. It's my job as a man.
But you're still my baby. And I miss you. Dami misses you a lot too.
You know, I really wish I could be there with you people.
You can. Mide, if you really wanted to.
You're saying it as if it's that simple. It's not.
Life is all about choices. Darling, and these choices are usually not easy. Anyway, I just might have a surprise for you soon.
Okay. What's that?
If I tell you, it wouldn't be a surprise now, would it?
Alright, fine. You win. See, I really miss you so much. But I even love you more.
I love you too, baby. Good night.
Good night, my love.
Princess, Daddy will be so happy to see you. Are you excited?
Yes, Mommy.
That's my girl. I know you're very tired now. We will rest soon, okay? What do you want? Where do you want to go to? You want to go back to America?
No.
Do you want pizza?
Yes.
Pizza and what? Driver, I beg, small now. Pizza and ice cream. So sing for mommy. Oh, God, small now. Wow. If mommy gets your pizza.
For me. No doctor. No doctor. I beg.
Oh my God, no. What's going on? What should do? Nurse, please, where are the doctors? You need to do something, please. Where are the doctors?
Doctor, not there now.
Are you serious? I need somebody to please attend to my wife.
My family.
Exactly, I just told you not my wife. You're asking my family. Are you stuck raving mad? What bloody form are you talking about? My friend, move! Move! No. It's not possible. It's not possible. It's not possible. No! Please, my wife was not there.
Your stupid don't show.
Mama.
Your stupid don't show.
No be that man wey dey always campaign for that bad chairman.
I beg, leave that one. Make we go inside, draw. Make we go. School fees don dey here. Wetin be that one?
Like I was saying,
yes.
What do you have to say to people who have been claiming that your administration has not done anything for the past 4 years?
Hey, look, my people should be fair to me now. Look, the last administration didn't do anything.
In fact, they left me nothing. But you know, as we promised, we have done all that we have promised. We promised total transformation. And if you remember in my manifesto, just around one of the, I think the 5th point, I promised many things.
Yeah, package from boss.
Midday, my boy. Please accept my deepest condolences. I hope you received the gift I sent across.
You know, these recent events have got me thinking.
Thinking about what?
Everything. I want out and I want all this to stop.
Are you on your mind? You know, I actually know that you're grieving at this time, you know, but it's all right. Have a drink with me and don't worry, you'll soon be all right, okay?
Do you know? Do you know why? Do you know why I call myself Ehuru?
Because you're Lumide Alade, the one who instills fear in people.
Indeed. But I also have heavy body to carry. Your body.
A small price that you have to pay for all that I've given to you.
I've always thought that you have a lot in common with the devil. Give and then take 1,000-fold.
The devil only takes what belongs to him.
No. That was the same deluded way of thinking that got him thrown out of heaven.
And he is the king of the whole earth.
No. You're Jew.
What?
Now he's burning in the lake of fire for all eternity. And I, Olamide Alade, do not want to burn with him.
Olamide, turning into a pastor overnight won't change who you really are. I'm sure you know that. There is no out. You're in this or dead. Your choice.
Checkmate. Now your choice. I have nothing to lose.
Hey, Olamide, look, I have a job for you. Midday! I have a job for you. I'll send you shortly.
Thank you so much. Can you put your hands together for PPDC? This movie was produced by an arm of PPDC called Home Vida. Now, if you want to continue watching it, you can go to YouTube and you will see the full movie. It is now my singular honor and privilege to invite our only male specialist and the head of programs of PPDC, Mr. Chimezie Aniekwe, to give us his closing remarks for today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Joshua, and a very good evening to everyone. It has been a very beautiful day. I'm sure that a lot of us have learned something today, and I want to assure you that it's just the beginning of our 4 days event, even though tomorrow is the last day for the Love for Humanity Summit. I want to say thank you to all our panelists and the people who were able to give us that spoke about some of the things that we needed to learn. I want to say thank you to everyone who sat and listened, all the participants and all the clinicians. Thank you so much. Tomorrow, let's just try to be here early. We are starting by 10, right? We're starting by 8 o'clock. Okay, tomorrow we are starting by 8 o'clock. And the earlier we come, the earlier we also close. So thank you very much. And on this note, I want to say it's the end of today, and then we'll continue tomorrow morning. Thank you, everyone, and have a beautiful evening.